Hello dear student, I am Dr. Ashok Yevle, Assistant Professor from Department of Zoology, KTHM College, Nasik. In the previous presentation, we have studied Kingdom Protista, their organization and classification of Kingdom Protista. So as we know, Kingdom Protista is further classified into three categories, that is algae, protozoa and fungi. So in today's presentation we focus on phylum Protozoa. So what are the general characteristics of phylum Protozoa? See, Protozoa is a largest group of microscopic organism. They are microscopic, means we can't see with our naked eyes, we can see it only under the microscope. They are eukaryotic organism. Generally what we say, prokaryotic organism and eukaryotic organism, but protozoan organisms are eukaryotic, means there is a presence of true nucleus. In prokaryotic organism, true nucleus is absent, so it is a characteristics of protozoan animal, means true nucleus is present. Second, they are single cell. Generally what we observe, the organisms are either single cell or multi cell. Single cell organisms are also called as unicellular organism, while multicellular organisms are showing a higher organization. For example, mostly mammals and other organisms are multicellular, but on the earth these unicellular organism, that is protozoan animal, occurs in abundant quantity. As I said, they are microscopic, means we can see it only under the microscope, and the most important characteristics of protozoan animals, that is lack of cell wall. Cell wall present only in plant cell. What we say? Eukaryotic organism, protozoan animal are eukaryotic, but eukaryotic organisms are either plant cell or animal cell. But in case of plant cell, there is a presence of cell wall, and in case of animal cell wall is absent. So it is again one of the most important characteristics of phylum Protozoa. Now this slide showing a broad classification of phylum Protozoa. Phylum Protozoa is a group of non-chordate organism, and it is classified into four categories, or we can say four classes. Class Rhizopoda, class Mastigophora, class Ciliata, and class Sporozoa. So in today's presentation, at least we focus two example of each class. So example of class Rhizopoda is Entamoeba histolytica and Amoeba proteus. Example of class Mastigophora is Euglena viridis and Trypanosoma gambians. Class Ciliata example Paramecium caudatum and Opelina ranarum, while class Sporozoa examples are Plasmodium vivax and Toxoplasma gonadi. So these are the examples. In next slide we'll see in detail about various examples of these classes. So let us start with class Rhizopoda. So class Rhizopoda is a special type of organisms are placed in this class. The organisms belongs from class Rhizopoda having a special locomotory organ called as pseudopodia. Pseudopodia is a finger-like organelles, and these organelles useful for locomotion purpose in class Rhizopod animal. They are showing a creeping protozoan. What we say? Creeping protozoan means with the help of this pseudopodia they can move from one place to another place. Rhizopod mostly found in aquatic habitat, and they are also occurs in terrestrial habitat. Mostly they are occurs in water as well as on land. Rhizophores are endoparasite. Means whenever they present outside the body of host, they are in inactive phase. But whenever they invade in the body of host, they are active, and they also called as endoparasite because further life cycle complete in the body of host, so they are endoparasite. Generally, rhizopod animal showing asexual mode of reproduction. Binary fission is a type of asexual mode of reproduction, and in case of rhizopod we can see the phenomenon like binary fission in case of rhizopod, and these are the two examples of rhizopod animal. There are so many examples, but at least you have to mention two examples of each class. So examples of class rhizopods are Entamoeba histolytica, and second example you have to mention there Amoeba proteus. So let us discuss about Entamoeba histolytica. Entamoeba histolytica is an example of class rhizopod. It is anaerobic parasite, means these are the parasite which are endoparasitic in nature. They are always present in the body of host, so they doesn't require oxygen for respiration, so called as anaerobic parasite. So entamoeba whenever infect to the body of host, mostly the unhygienic condition is responsible, and it occurs in two phases, that is active and inactive. Trophozoite is an active phase of entamoeba which occurs in the body of host. So whenever they present outside the body of host, they are called as cyst, but whenever they invade in the body of host, they are called as trophozoite, and it is an active phase for completing their further life cycle in the body of host. Second example is Amoeba proteus. So since our school level we have studied Amoeba proteus. You already studied amoeba in 10th standard, 12th standard. You also observe the slide of amoeba. So in case of amoeba, also the pseudopodia is present. See in a diagram, pseudopodia, it is a finger-like structure, and with the help of these pseudopodial they can move from one place to another place. Amoeba is also a single cell organism. The cell cytoplasm and cellular content enclosed within the cell membrane. Single nucleus with DNA. As I said, they are eukaryotic organism, so there is a presence of clear-cut nucleus. So let us start second class, that is Mastigophora. In a Mastigophora, locomotory organ is flagella. As I said, Rhizopoda, the locomotory organ is pseudopodia, while in Mastigophora, locomotory organ is flagella. So flagella is a single hair-like organ, and it look like a tail of organism, and with the help of zigzag motion of this flagella, such a mastigophore animal move from one place to another place. Mastigophore is a division of single cell protozoa, and again it found in fresh as well as marine water. So this shows diverse habitat. Mostly the mastigophore organism cause several diseases to the organism, means mostly to the higher organisms. So kinetoplastids contain extra nuclear DNA, and so these kinetoplast presence in mastigophore animals, so they mostly severe damage to the host organism. Here I mentioned two examples of mastigophore organisms. that is Euglena viridis and Trypanosoma gambians. So first, Euglena viridis. Euglena viridis name is a Greek word. Eu means true, glens means eyeball. These organism is look like a eye pupil or eyeball, so they are generally called as Euglena. It is a solitary and free living freshwater flagellates. Means solitary means they are stable in a position just like a trees, while free living means they move from one place to another place. So sometimes the species of Euglena are solitary while some of them are free living freshwater. Generally they are found in freshwater bodies like ponds, ditches, and sometimes they occur in running streams also. Euglena is elongated spindle shape in appearance. In middle part of the body it is broad while tapering towards the both end. You can see in the diagram single hair like organism called as flagellum, and these flagellum attach with a eye spot, that is why they can locomote from one place to another place. There is the presence of chloroplast and true nucleus also. So they are placed in either plant like organism or an animal like organism, because there is a question mark because of presence of chloroplast. They showing the property of plant, while in case of flagellum they showing such a property, so they can move from one place to another place, so they are called as Euglena. Second example of Mastigophora class is Trypanosoma gambians. Trypanosoma is an endoparasite, means whenever they invade in the body of host and further life cycle they complete into the blood. Generally, trypanosoma which invade in the body of host, they enters in the blood, and whenever they enter in the blood, they multiply their number, and whenever they multiply their number, they create obstacles into the blood because it possesses a flagellum. So with the help of this flagellum, they can move from one place to another place, but this flagellum create so many disturbances in the blood, and it create many barriers to the blood, because blood never uh, occupy barriers, because blood always move from one place to another place of the body. So due to flagellum they generate barriers to the blood, and it causes sleeping sickness. Sleeping sickness is a severe critical disease occurs in an organism, and it is mostly due to trypanosoma. Then third class is ciliata. Ciliata, as the name suggests, presence of cilia. The outer membrane of these unicellular organism covers many hair-like organs, and these many hair-like organs called as cilia, and this cilia is called as a locomotory organ. Ciliate are free living and mostly they are found in fresh or marine water. The body is covered by pellicle. So outer membrane is called as pellicle, and within the pellicle there is a cytoplasm. But on the surface of pellicle there are numerous hair-like organs called as cilia, and with the help of these cilia they can move from one place to another place. Even the ciliate also showing a mode of reproduction is asexual type of reproduction, and that is nothing but binary fission or budding. And two examples of class ciliates I mention here, plus Paramecium caudatum and Opelina ranerum. So let us discuss about Paramecium caudatum. Paramecium caudatum is most important species of class Ciliata. It is worldwide distributed, free living unicellular organism. Its body shape look like a slipper sole. So they are also called as animalcule. It usually lives in a stagnant water or pools or lakes or ditches or pond. So mostly they are found in a stagnant water. Its outer body covered with hair-like organ, and this hair-like organ called as cilia. Let us see in a diagram. Outer surface, that is called as pellicle, and on the pellicle there are numerous hair-like organ called as cilia. Then second example of class ciliate is Opalina ranarum. So what is the speciality of this Opalina? These Opalina is a endoparasite and which are mostly found in the intestine of frog and toad. They are saprozoic, means they grow on dead and decay matter. So whenever they present outside the body of host, they show a role that is saprozoic, means they grow on dead and decay matter, but whenever they invade in the body of host like frog and toad, they are complete their life cycle in a intestine of frog and toads. The speciality of Opalina is they have a numerous identical nuclei, or these nuclei widely distributed into the cytoplasm. Micro or macronuclei are always absent, so numerous identical nuclei present in the cytoplasm of opalina, and even the reproduction is asexual type, that is by binary fission. And then we turn to last class, that is sporozoa. In a sporozoa, no such a locomotory organs like pseudopodia, flagella or cilia. So in case of sporozoa, the gliding type of locomotion is there. Gliding means they can jump from one place to another place because of no locomotory organ. They are unicellular also. Mostly they are non-motile. They are generally endoparasite again, and they are spore forming organism. That is why they are called as sporozoa, means spore. These spores are responsible for generating new organism. For example, Plasmodium falciparum and Toxoplasma gonadi. These are the two examples I mentioned here. So let us discuss two examples of class Sporozoa. So first example is Plasmodium falciparum. It is one of the most important protozoan organism. Plasmodium is commonly called as malarial parasite. Malaria is a type of fever. Fever occurs in human being also. It is an obligatory parasite, means it completes half cycle in one host and further cycle complete in another host. So they are called as obligatory parasite. For example, in case of Plasmodium, half life cycle complete in a body of mosquito and further life cycle complete in a body of human in the form of trophozoite stage. So mostly whenever they grow in a body of host like human, they provide severe damage to the blood cells and cause a critical disease like malaria. So mostly these malaria showing a higher rate of mortality in case of human being also. Then second example of class Sporozoa is Toxoplasma gonadi. Toxoplasma gonadi is an obligate intracellular parasitic protozoan again, and it causes a very dreadful infectious disease toxoplasmosis. It is an accidental invade parasite in the body of host. Generally, the mode of invading in the body of host is ingestion of undercooked food. Means whenever the contaminated food is there, so this contaminated food provide an opportunity to invade in the body of host to this parasite. So whenever they entered in the body of host, they create a severe damage to the body of host. So these are again very harmful causative protozoan parasite to the higher organisms like human. So in this way, we have finished 4 classes of protozoan animal. On the basis of locomotory organ, they are broadly classified into 4 categories, and in exam you have to write, or sometime a question arises, what is protozoan and what are different classes of phylum Protozoa. At least you have to mention 2 example of each class. So this way you have to explain all these things. Thanks for watching this presentation. Next time we'll meet with new presentation. Thank you.